Walter Clayton Jr. Man, that dude's a pro. I mean, I don't know that I wouldn't take him second in the draft.
I would take him with the second pick in the draft.
He's unbelievable.
I think he's better than Dylan Harper. I think he's better than Ace Bailey. Yeah.
I mean, like, Reed Sheppard went, what, 3 or 4?
Yes. I mean, after Cooper Flagg, he's coming off the board for me. Like, look, I think he has the range. He's 6'3.5", 6'4". And Seth, you know how I am. I've been on the floor, and I've looked him up and down. He has the size, he has athletic ability, and for him, he has this, he's not Steph Curry, and I want people at home to know I'm not calling him Steph Curry, but he does have this wizardry with the ball where he's not afraid of big moments, and he took advantage of every big moment in this game.
Life like this sure is sweet, huh?
It definitely is.
Bring it on! What's up, everyone? This is the national championship game that everyone is talking about. Florida, Houston, let's go! This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about how Walter Clayton Jr. is the most underrated player in college basketball. Florida is now in the national championship game due to heroic performances from Walter Clayton Jr. As for Houston, they are now in the national championship game due to an epic come-from-behind victory against Duke. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Can Walter Clayton Jr. lead Florida to a national championship victory against Houston? I'm going to say yes to this question. I've been going back and forth on this, but I am ultimately going to go with Florida in this ball game because they have the best player on the floor. I understand that Houston's defense plays at an elite level, and I understand that they are more than worthy of making it to the national championship game. However, when I compare star players to star players, nobody matches up better than Walter Clayton Jr. Walter Clayton Jr. has played like Steph Curry in this year's March Madness tournament. I do not expect that trend to change in the national championship game. Walter Clayton Jr. can shoot the 3-ball at an elite level. The guy creates movement like no other point guard in college basketball right now. He facilitates pretty well for a college basketball player as well. Outside of Cooper Flagg, Walter Clayton Jr. is the best player in college basketball. It's really a shame that nobody is talking about Walter Clayton Jr. as a top-level pick in the NBA draft that is coming up because Walter Clayton Jr. is truly a special talent. When I watch Walter Clayton Jr. play, I think, holy cow, this guy can shoot the 3-ball at a high level. He knows how to get open for himself and create other shots for teammates. I get amazed watching Walter Clayton Jr. play. The guy rises up to pressure in the biggest moments. No lead is safe against Florida. That is because Walter Clayton Jr. is capable of getting hot from 3 at any given time. When I watch Walter Clayton Jr. shoot the basketball under pressure, I think a lot about Jamal Murray because of how he makes a lot of tough shots in big-time moments. Walter Clayton Jr. has that it factor. He's not afraid to run away from the spotlight. I don't expect that trend to change in the national championship game. Like I said, Houston's defense is elite, but we also know that great offense beats great defense, and Walter Clayton Jr. has the capability to expose Houston's defense. Houston's defense has been plenty good, don't get me wrong. I've been really impressed with what I've seen from them on the defensive end of the floor. However, if you have a shot creator like Walter Clayton Jr., there's not really much defense a team can do. Houston is going to be able to contain Walter Clayton Jr. early in the ballgame, but ultimately, Walter Clayton Jr. is going to turn into a superstar sooner rather than later. They're not going to have answers for a guy like Walter Clayton Jr. Now, if you're Florida, you got to be able to keep the gas pedal on. We all know that Houston is capable of going on a run themselves. Ask Duke what happens when you take your foot off the gas pedal. You end up choking. Ultimately, though, I loved it as a Tar Heels fan. I was rooting for Houston throughout the ball game. I know that I picked Duke to win, but I was saying in my mind, let's go, Houston. Let's find a way to make a comeback happen. And that's exactly what they did because they hit big-time shot after big-time shot, and they got stops when they needed it most. Give credit to Houston where credit is due. I also want to show you guys this clip of Jay Bilas being an absolute shock that Duke choked against Houston. However, he gave Houston credit for coming up with a huge win in the Final Four. I agreed with Jay Bilas' analysis. I thought what he said was pretty spot on. It's really accurate. Roll the film.
Houston's win over Duke in the Final Four was absolutely extraordinary. Give credit to the Cougars. Relentless is really hard to beat, and tough as nails is really hard to beat. And when they were down 14 in the second half, Houston kept fighting. When they were down 7 with a minute 26, Houston kept fighting. They wouldn't let Duke inbound the ball. They got steals. Manuel Sharp hits a gigantic 3 after a shot fake and Cooper Flagg flies by. They took advantage of a missed front end of a 1-and-1, a foul. LJ Cryer knocks down big free throws. Juwan Roberts, a 62% free throw shooter who had 11 rebounds and made maybe the defensive play in the game, putting pressure on Cooper Flagg's last shot to force him into a fadeaway 2. You got to give great credit to Kelvin Sampson and his Houston Cougars. Toughness, relentlessness. That's a great basketball team. And the bottom line is Houston lives in close games. They have all year long. 4 losses, most of them early in the season, but 3 of those losses were in overtime. And Duke had the largest margin of victory of the season in the country. They didn't live in close games. And I ultimately think that was the difference. When there was game pressure on both teams at the end, Houston was a little bit better at knowing how to handle that. And they handled it all the way to the national championship game where they'll play Florida. Just an extraordinary Saturday of basketball with Florida and Houston headed to the championship game.
You are correct, sir. Yes!
Agreed. Jay Bilas absolutely hit it on the spot. That's exactly how it went down in the Houston-Duke game. Houston played the elite defense when it mattered most, and they were able to hit the big-time shots. Kelvin Sampson is one of the smartest coaches in college basketball right now, particularly on the defensive end of the floor. I got to give a lot of credit to him for how they shut down Cooper Flagg and that Duke offense late in that ball game. How about LJ Cryer making his free throws when it mattered most? You got to give Houston a lot of credit for getting the job done. But ultimately, though, can Houston get the job done against Florida? I don't think so. Florida is a super team as well. I know they just took down a literal super team in Duke, but it's going to be really hard to take down Florida because Walter Clayton Jr. is truly a shot maker. He's a difference maker. He's a playmaker. He's going to elevate other teammates around him. I say that he is the most underrated player in college basketball because nobody ever hypes him up as a generational talent. I don't hear enough people hyping him up as the next Steph Curry, but I see exactly that in Walter Clayton Jr. The guy's play style is so fun to watch, and it's so effective as well. I think this game's going to be close, though. I think it's going to be tied late in the fourth quarter. I think Florida's going to lead for most of the game, but I believe Houston is going to come up with some key defensive stops. That's how the game's going to get tied in the first place. And then Walter Clayton Jr. hits a buzzer beater shot. Florida is going to come out of this game victorious. The final score of this game is going to be something along the lines of 75-73. Florida, it's going to be an epic finish for the ages. I'm rooting for a great national championship game. Everybody else should be as well. I got Florida by 2. Walter Clayton Jr. is going to hit the shot heard around the world, and I'm really excited to see how this game is going to play out. Houston's going to put up a fight, but ultimately, Walter Clayton Jr. will be able to lead Florida to a national championship victory. Unlike Cooper Flagg, Walter Clayton Jr. is going to be able to hit the shot from mid-range, and everybody is going to say, wow, Walter Clayton Jr. truly has the clutch G in his game. So that is why Walter Clayton Jr. will be able to lead Florida to a national championship victory against Houston, as Florida will beat Houston by the score of 75-73. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinStrand Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinStrand, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinStrand. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.